Hello everyone. So if the question comes like cells communicate with each other through all of the following except, and if the options given are gap junctions, ion channels, tight junctions, and desmosomes. So which one to opt for the answer? So gap junctions, these are gold standard for communication. They create physical tunnels called as connexon. As you can see in the diagram, these green structures are the connexons. So what are their functions? They allow ions and small molecules to flow directly from one cell to another. Example is that suppose these are the heart cells. If the electrical impulses first reach the first cell through these connexons, the impulses will reach to the second cell in the form of ions. So there is a clear communication between the cells through gap junctions. So obviously this is not the answer. Then coming to the ion channels. Then ion channels, these are basically for long distance communication or extracellular communications. A signaling molecule like what you call a hormone or a neurotransmitter. It binds to the receptors, and because of binding of the signaling molecules to the receptor, the channel opens and the molecule enters through the channel from one side of the cell to the another side of the cell. So clearly there is from one cell to another cell, basically from one cell to another cell. So there is clear communication. So even ion channels is also out of question. Then coming to tight junctions, as you can see in this thing, there is a gap between the two cells that is called as paracellular barrier that is preventing any transport or any communication between the two cells. The only thing that these two cells are being connected are with something called as Claudins or Occludins. Proteins called as Claudins or Occludins help in communication between cells via tight junctions. By regulating which ions pass between the cells, they communicate the electrochemical state of the tissue. So, what do they communicate? Communicate the electrochemical state of the tissue. Ions pass, and the paracellular barrier is nothing but the gap between the two cells. Then finally, so this is also not the answer. The only option remaining is desmosomes. So coming to desmosomes, although they are made up of proteins, their primary role is structural. They keep cells from tearing apart during mechanical stress. They do not have any pores for communication. The catherins, here something called as catherins, and the plaque proteins, they basically act as a glue between the two cells. There are no openings. They don't have any holes for the molecules to pass through. As you can see, this is the end. This is the end here. There is nothing passing between the two cells. Absolutely, there is no communication. They don't have any holes or the molecules to pass through, and they don't change their shape to send the signals like in ion channels. They just hold the cells tight so that they don't tear. So that's why they are a structural anchor and not a messenger. And this is the right answer. Desmosomes is the right answer for among these four options. So basically, gap junctions, the communication is very high. Direct cytoplasmic link, you can call it as. Then ion channels. Here also the communication is high, but for chemical or electrical signal. Then coming to tight junctions, the only option giving you headache or confusion. Here the communication is moderate. It regulates ionic environment. And finally, the desmosomes, where the communication is low to none. Only mechanical strength is being provided. So gap junction, we can also say the gap junctions are having connexons or holes. The tight junctions are having Claudins or pores, but the desmosomes, they are having plaques or catharins, but these are solid, neither not porous, not having any holes or gap. So this should clear your doubts. So desmosomes is the answer.